Welcome back to my channel, Rare Coins Shop. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. We're going to talk about a coin that may just be sitting in your collection or even your spare change, waiting to be discovered. That's right, we're diving into the United States half-dollar coin from 1973. While most people might overlook this coin as just another piece of everyday currency, it's far more interesting than you might think. Stick around, because you're about to find out just how much this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1973 for a moment. The United States was experiencing a time of political and economic change. The country was in the middle of the Vietnam War, Watergate was unfolding, and the global oil crisis was causing economic uncertainty. Despite the turbulence, the U.S. Mint was still churning out coins for circulation, and in 1973, millions of half-dollar coins were struck, most of them in circulation for daily use. The 1973 half-dollar, like the ones before it, features the famous Kennedy design. On the obverse, you'll see the profile of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, who was tragically assassinated in 1963. The design, created by sculptor Gilroy Roberts, was chosen to honor the late president, and it's been a part of American currency ever since. On the reverse, you'll find the Great Seal of the United States, featuring a bald eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. At first glance, the 1973 half-dollar might seem like just another coin from the era, but the real value lies in its condition, rarity, and the historical context surrounding it. Coins from the early 1970s, particularly the half-dollar, weren't as heavily used as smaller denominations like quarters and dimes. People didn't carry around many half-dollars since the coin was worth 50 cents, which was quite a bit of money at the time. This means fewer people used the coin regularly, and fewer of these coins were in circulation. While the U.S. Mint struck millions of half-dollar coins in 1973, high-quality examples in mint condition are incredibly rare. Most of the coins that survive daily circulation have significant wear and tear. If you have a 1973 half-dollar that's free from scratches, discoloration, or heavy damage, you may have something special on your hands. But it's not just about how the coin looks. The key to its value lies in its grade. Coins in uncirculated condition, meaning they show no signs of wear, are highly coveted by collectors because they offer a glimpse into the past, as though they were just minted. But there's something else that can dramatically increase the value of a 1973 half-dollar: mint errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production of the coin, resulting in unique and often valuable specimens. These errors can range from misaligned designs to double strikes, or even coins with missing details. Mint errors are always in high demand because they're rare and often one of a kind. If your 1973 half-dollar has an error, you could be sitting on a much more valuable coin than you ever expected. Now, let's get down to the big question: how much is a 1973 half-dollar actually worth? The answer depends on its condition, but we're not talking about just a few dollars here. If you happen to have a pristine, uncirculated 1973 half-dollar or one with a unique minting error, you could be looking at a value far beyond the coin's face value. For a high-grade example, you could be looking at a price of $84,000, yes, you heard that right, $84,000 for a single 1973 half-dollar. It's hard to believe that a coin worth only 50 cents when it was first minted could command such a large sum today, but that's the world of coin collecting for you. The rarity, the condition, and the history behind these coins are what make them so valuable. So, what should you do if you think you might have a 1973 half-dollar that's worth something? First, examine the coin carefully. Check for any signs of wear. If the details of Kennedy's profile are still sharp, and the eagle on the reverse is clearly defined, you could be holding a valuable piece. Next, look for any potential mint errors. These can range from simple flaws in the design to more dramatic mistakes, like double strikes or off-center coins. If you're unsure about the condition or potential value of your coin, it's a good idea to get it graded by a professional numismatist. A graded coin can fetch a much higher price on the market, as collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have been verified to be in top condition. The value of the 1973 half dollar is just another example of how coin collecting can be full of surprises. What might seem like a simple coin from the 1970s could be worth far more than you ever imagined, especially if it's in great condition or has a rare minting error. Whether you've inherited a collection, found one in your change, or are just starting out in the world of numismatics, always remember to check your coins closely. There may be hidden treasures waiting for you. Second rare coin, we're diving into the fascinating world of the United States half-dollar coin from 1776 to 1976, a coin that holds both historical significance and incredible value. Whether you've stumbled upon one of these coins in your collection, or you've been holding on to one for years, today's video will open your eyes to just how valuable this seemingly ordinary coin can be. Stick around, because we're about to reveal why this coin is worth much more than its face value. Let's start by taking a look back in time to 1776. It was a monumental year in American history, the year the Declaration of Independence was signed, marking the birth of the United States. Fast forward to 1976, and the country was celebrating its 200th anniversary with bicentennial celebrations across the nation. To commemorate this momentous occasion, the U.S. Mint released a series of special coins, and among them was the half-dollar coin, which became known as the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half-dollar. The bicentennial half-dollar is instantly recognizable by its unique design. On the obverse, you'll see a rendition of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, where the Declaration of Independence was signed, and where the Founding Fathers gathered to shape the future of the nation. This design was created by the artist Jack Ahr, and it is a powerful tribute to America's history. On the reverse side, the coin features a bold image of the Liberty Bell, one of the most iconic symbols of American freedom, along with the year 1776 to 1976, inscribed below. The Liberty Bell represents America's independence, and it serves as a reminder of the country's founding ideals: freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This design was also created by Ahr, and it captures the spirit of the nation's bicentennial celebration. While the coin itself was created as part of a larger celebration, it quickly became a collector's item for its historical significance and unique design. But it's not just the design that makes this coin valuable, it's the rarity and condition of the coin that truly matter in the world of coin collecting. The U.S. Mint produced over 200 million bicentennial half-dollars in 1975 and 1976, so the coin is not considered rare in terms of total mintage. However, the real value lies in finding a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition. Since these coins were produced in large numbers, most of the ones in circulation have been heavily worn, scratched, and damaged over time. But if you happen to find a well-preserved example, especially one that has been carefully stored away and kept in its original state, you could be holding on to a very valuable coin. It's important to note that some collectors place a higher premium on coins that are graded as being in top condition. Coins that are graded as mint state, which means they have no visible wear and show sharp details, are considered especially valuable. In fact, a pristine, uncirculated 1776 to 1976 half-dollar can command a significant price, but there's another key factor that could dramatically increase the value of this coin: error coins. Minting errors are always highly sought after by collectors. These are coins that were mistakenly produced with flaws, such as double strikes, off-center designs, or other imperfections that make them unique. If you have a 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half-dollar with a mint error, you could be sitting on a true treasure. The rarity and uniqueness of a mint error can cause the coin's value to skyrocket, especially if the error is particularly noticeable or unusual. So, how much is a 1776 to 1976 half-dollar actually worth? As we mentioned earlier, the coin was produced in large quantities, so its base value is typically around 50 cents. However, that's where the real magic happens. If you have one of these coins in excellent condition or with a minting error, the value can soar to incredible heights. In fact, a high-grade, uncirculated 1776 to 1976 half-dollar, especially one with a minting error, could be worth as much as $102,000. That's right, $102,000 for a single coin that originally had a face value of just 50 cents. It's hard to believe, but this is the reality of the coin market. The value of rare coins like this one can fluctuate based on demand, condition, and rarity. And with more and more collectors getting involved in numismatics, the prices of coins like the bicentennial $50 continue to rise. If you're wondering whether you might have one of these rare coins, it's a good idea to carefully inspect the 1776 to 1976 $50 you have. Check for any signs of wear, and make sure you're looking at an uncirculated coin. If the coin is still shiny and detailed, and the designs are sharp and clear, you might have a highly valuable piece on your hands. If you suspect it could be a mint error, it's definitely worth getting it appraised by a professional numismatist. In summary, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial $50 is a unique and historically significant coin that represents a key moment in American history. While it was produced in large numbers, coins that are in excellent condition or have minting errors are highly sought after by collectors. If you find yourself holding onto one of these coins in pristine condition, it could be worth a significant amount of money. In fact, $102,000 for a single 1776 to 1976 $50 is entirely possible, depending on its condition and rarity. Third expensive coin, we're talking about the 1983 $50. It may seem like just another coin from the 1980s, but when you take a closer look, you'll see that this coin is much more special than you might think. So, sit tight, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this particular coin could be worth a small fortune. Let's first rewind to the year 1983. The United States was in the midst of significant economic changes. President Ronald Reagan was in office, and the country was seeing the effects of inflation, as well as a period of recovery from the economic turmoil of the 1970s. At the same time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins for circulation, including the $50. Unlike the smaller denominations, such as dimes and quarters, the $50 had become less popular in everyday transactions by the 1980s. People preferred to use quarters, dimes, and dollar bills for convenience, making the $50 a somewhat rare sight in circulation. The 1983 $50 features the iconic Kennedy design, which was first introduced in 1964, following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find a profile of John F. Kennedy, looking as dignified and heroic as ever. This design was created by Gilroy Roberts and has since become one of the most enduring images on U.S. currency. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the Great Seal of the United States, with a bald eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. So, what makes the 1983 $50 special? The key to understanding its value lies in both its rarity and condition. In terms of mintage, the 1983 $50 was produced in relatively large numbers by the Philadelphia Mint, but here's the catch: because of its relative lack of use in everyday transactions, many of these coins didn't survive in excellent condition. Most of the coins that were put into circulation were subject to wear and tear, and by now, they've been heavily circulated, scratched, and damaged. This is where things get interesting for collectors. If you happen to have a 1983 $50 that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be holding on to something valuable. Coins in mint condition, meaning they have no visible signs of wear, are always in high demand. A coin that was well preserved and carefully stored can fetch significantly higher prices than one that has seen years of circulation. These coins can be considered rarities, and collectors are often willing to pay a premium for well-maintained examples. However, what really drives the value of the 1983 $50 up is its unique collector demand. Despite being struck in large numbers, the 1983 P is considered a scarce find in uncirculated condition. Given the low demand for $50 coins at the time of their release, most of these coins weren't preserved as collector's items. It's only in recent years that the value of well-preserved 1983 $50 has begun to rise, especially as the market for rare coins continues to grow, but that's not all. Some 1983 $50 have been found to have mint errors, which are always sought after by coin collectors. These errors can range from off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, to double strikes, where the coin has been struck twice, creating a unique and sometimes dramatic effect. Mint errors can make a coin one of a kind, and when a coin like the 1983 p half dollar has an error, it becomes highly valuable to collectors. Mint errors can turn an ordinary coin into something truly extraordinary. So, let's get to the big question: just how much is a 1983 p half dollar worth? Now, as we mentioned before, if you happen to have one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, you're looking at a coin that could be worth significantly more than its original 50-cent value. In fact, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these coins in excellent condition. And when we talk about mint errors, the price can go even higher. The value of a 1983 p half dollar can reach a staggering $70,000, depending on the coin's condition and any unique mint errors it might possess. Yes, that's right, $70,000 for a coin that was originally worth just 50 cents. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? But that's the incredible reality of rare coin collecting. The demand for rare and well-preserved coins continues to grow, and even coins that were once seen as relatively ordinary can now command extraordinary prices. So, if you're lucky enough to have a 1983 p half dollar in your possession, it's time to take a closer look. Inspect it for any signs of wear, and check for any mint errors. If you think you might have a rare, uncirculated version or a coin with a unique minting error, it's definitely worth getting it appraised by a professional numismatist. The 1983 p half dollar could be the key to unlocking a hidden treasure in your collection. Specially, we're going to talk about the 1992 p half dollar coin. Now, you might be thinking, how could a coin from 1992 be worth anything more than face value? Well, stick with us, because you might be surprised to find out just how much this coin could be worth if it's in the right condition. Let's take a step back and set the scene. The year is 1992. The U.S. economy is moving forward in the aftermath of the 1980s, and President George H.W. Bush is in office. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint is busy producing coins, including the half dollar, which has been an important part of American currency for generations. But by 1992, the half dollar wasn't as commonly used in everyday transactions. People had become more accustomed to using smaller denominations and dollar bills, leaving the half dollar to be used mostly in specialty transactions, or even collected by numismatists and hobbyists. The 1992 p half dollar features the classic Kennedy design, a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated in 1963. The obverse, or front, of the coin depicts a profile of Kennedy himself, designed by Gilroy Roberts. This image, created just after Kennedy's tragic death, has become one of the most iconic representations of the former president. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the Great Seal of the United States, with an eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, a symbol of strength and peace. At first glance, the 1992 p half dollar might seem like just another coin from the era. After all, millions were produced that year. But what sets this coin apart is the fact that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P mint mark. In total, several million of these coins were produced in 1992, but much like other coins from this time period, they were primarily used in circulation and thus experienced wear and tear. So, what does this mean for collectors? When it comes to coin collecting, condition is king. While many of the 1992 p half dollars were used in everyday transactions, very few have survived in mint condition, free of scratches, dings, or discoloration. Coins that have been carefully stored and kept in pristine condition are always highly sought after by collectors, and this coin is no exception. If you happen to have a 1992 p half dollar in unblemished, uncirculated condition, it could be worth far more than the 50-cent face value. In fact, collectors have been known to pay a premium for coins that have maintained their sharp details, shiny surfaces, and overall excellent quality. So, while this coin may have been produced in relatively high quantities, the rarity of finding one in perfect condition is what truly drives its value. But wait, there's more. In addition to well-preserved coins, error coins are always a major attraction in the world of numismatics. Minting errors are rare occurrences that happen during the production process, resulting in coins with misstrikes, off-center designs, or double strikes. These error coins are often highly coveted because they are truly unique, and a 1992 p half dollar with a minting error can fetch significantly higher prices than a typical coin. So, if you come across a 1992 p half dollar with any noticeable mistakes, it could be worth much more than you think. Now, you're probably wondering, just how much could a 1992 p half dollar really be worth? Well, the value depends on the condition and whether or not the coin is a mint error. A typical 1992 p half dollar in good condition is worth its face value, but one in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch a much higher price. But when it comes to truly rare and well-preserved examples, especially those with minting errors, the value can reach astonishing amounts. In fact, the value of a 1992 p half dollar in exceptional condition, or one with a mint error, could be worth as much as $50,000. That's right, $50,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 50 cents. It's remarkable how a piece of history, carefully preserved, can hold so much value in the world of coin collecting. So, if you've been holding onto a 1992 p half dollar, now is the time to take a closer look. Check the condition. Does it still shine like new, or has it seen years of circulation? If it's in top-notch shape, or if you notice any unusual features, you might just be holding onto a rare treasure. If you think you found something truly special, it's worth getting the coin appraised by a professional. In summary, while the 1992 p half dollar may seem like just another coin from a routine year in American history, it holds significant value when found in excellent condition or with a mint error. These coins are becoming increasingly rare, and collectors are willing to pay handsomely for well-preserved specimens. So, take the time to dig through your coin collection. Who knows, that small, humble 1992 p half dollar could be worth as much as $50,000. Last unique coin, we're talking about the 1998 p half dollar coin. At first glance, this may seem like just another coin from the late 20th century, but believe it or not, this particular half dollar could potentially be worth a small fortune, depending on its condition and rarity. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this coin is so special and why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. To truly appreciate the significance of the 1998 p half dollar, let's set the stage. The year 1998 was a time of technological growth and economic stability in the United States. Bill Clinton was in the middle of his second term as president, and the country was experiencing a period of prosperity, especially in the tech industry. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was continuing its tradition of producing currency to meet the needs of the population, including the half-dollar coin. Although the half-dollar had been a staple of American coinage for decades, by the late 90s, it had fallen out of favor in everyday transactions. People were using dollar bills, credit cards, and smaller coins like quarters and dimes, leaving the half-dollar somewhat neglected. The 1998 p half dollar is part of a series struck during this time, but its story doesn't end with a simple mintage number. There's something much more intriguing about this coin that makes it a treasure for collectors. If you look closely at the 1998 p half dollar, you'll notice the classic Kennedy design that's been used since 1964, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The obverse side of the coin showcases a striking profile of Kennedy himself, designed by Gilroy Roberts, which captures his likeness in a dignified, memorable way. This image has become synonymous with the Kennedy half-dollar series and has a certain historical weight to it. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the Great Seal of the United States, featuring a bold eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, a timeless symbol of strength and peace. So, what makes the 1998 p half dollar stand out in the world of numismatics? The key lies in its rarity and condition. While millions of these coins were minted, most of them were circulated, meaning they've been subject to wear, scratches, and discoloration over time. As a result, the majority of 1998 p half dollars in circulation today are far from pristine. But here's the twist: coins that have been well preserved, especially those that have never been used in circulation, are highly sought after by collectors. In the world of coin collecting, a coin's condition plays a crucial role in determining its value. A coin in uncirculated or mint condition, free of scratches, dings, and discoloration, can be worth significantly more than one that has been tossed around in a pocket or jar for years. With the 1998 p half dollar, the demand for high-quality, uncirculated examples is greater than you might think. Coins that have been carefully stored or kept in pristine condition are more valuable because they are relatively rare compared to the worn-down coins that were heavily circulated, but it doesn't end there. There's another factor that could push the value of the 1998 half dollar even higher: mint errors. Mint errors occur during the manufacturing process, and they can create unique and one-of-a-kind coins. These errors could include anything from off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, to double strikes, where the coin has been struck twice. Collectors go wild for coins with mint errors, as they represent something truly rare. A 1998 half dollar with a mint error could be worth much more than a typical coin in perfect condition. Now, you're probably wondering just how much a 1998 half dollar is actually worth. Well, as with most rare coins, the value is largely determined by the condition of the coin and whether or not it has any mint errors. A typical 1998 half dollar in good condition is worth its face value, which is 50 cents, but if you've got one in uncirculated, pristine condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a valuable treasure. So how much are we talking about here? A 1998 half dollar in excellent condition could be worth upwards of $36,000. Yes, you heard that right, $36,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 50 cents. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once common in everyday transactions can now command such a high price, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. If you think you might have a 1998 half dollar that's in excellent condition, or if you spot any unique characteristics or errors on your coin, now is the time to take a closer look. You could be holding onto something truly valuable. It's always a good idea to have your coins professionally appraised by a numismatist or take them to a reputable coin dealer for an assessment. In conclusion, while the 1998 half dollar may seem like just another coin from the late 20th century, it's actually a rare find for collectors in top condition. Whether you have a perfectly preserved coin or one with a minting error, this coin could be worth far more than its original value. So, take a moment to dig through your collection or take a closer look at that old jar of change. You might just be holding onto a $36,000 treasure. Thanks for joining us today as we uncovered the value of the 1998 half dollar coin. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and remember, you never know when you'll stumble upon a coin worth much more than you expected.